Oh my God, everybody's getting corona and everybody's getting influenza. Like
Damn.
the weather just got, oh God, it's crazy. The weather just, it went from like pretty cold. I mean, cold for Japan, not super cold, but cold for Japan to like warm and nice to like really humid within like no time. Like it's just like this weather just changed. And so everybody's getting sick, myself included, just because of like this continuous change, you know? It's not like, in the States or like, all right, in the Midwest and Michigan, it's like a gradual change, you know? You're in
Yeah.
Ohio right now, right?
Yeah. The weather, I
Yep.
don't know how long it's been since you've been back here, man, but the weather
Like
has got
25 years.
the weather. I just came back here like 4 years ago.
You got
And
back 4 years ago. Wow.
yeah, and like the weather is wacky now, man. Like it'll
Yeah,
be
really.
cold one day, then the
Yeah.
next day it's hot, and then the next day it's cold again.
Wow.
It's yeah, it's weird, man. And like it's May, and like it'll get cold and then hot again. It's bizarre.
Is that global warming or is that just like a problem with the Matrix? Hey, who's running the Matrix? You're messing up the weather. Come on.
I
Push
think
a
it has
button.
it could be that there's like a shift with the sun or something, or there could be like the because of the weather modification the government's doing, like with the chemtrail bullshit. I don't know, man, but it wasn't like this when I lived
Ooh,
here 10, 15 years ago.
really? Oh my gosh. Well, I
Yeah.
lived in California, well, Northern California for 7 years before before I moved to Japan. And San Francisco is just, it's really cold or it's pretty nice. And that's it. Sometimes really foggy. Oh my gosh. I miss San Francisco's weather though. Mm.
I've been to
Okay.
San Francisco. Pretty
What's
good.
up?
I was in San Francisco back in 2007. It was pretty nice there, but I heard it's really bad there now.
Oh, the weather? Oh, wow.
Well, just not the weather, but the actual like the homeless problem. It's gotten like way, way worse than it was, and it was bad back then.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, that's an issue. That's a topic for a different time, I guess. For today, though, we're gonna focus on you. So basically, what I want to do is I want to talk about your experiences as a rapper here in Japan and as a pro wrestler here in Japan, and why you left Japan, why'd you leave this beautiful country, and briefly what you did after that, and then your adventures going to the States. And then, of course, you're going to have to talk about music because, I mean, your pro wrestling and your music kind of intertwine. You're like a
Yeah,
one man corporation, basically. I mean, your hands are subsidiaries to a degree. So the thing is, it's just like I think it'd be kind of cool if you talk about both aspects as we go from like country to country to country, and then of course we're gonna have to talk about your situation regarding the Insane Clown Posse or the Juggalos. And I actually, to be honest, I don't know. I know almost nothing about it except for like me checking out like some of your videos where you're saying that you're getting all these death threats and stuff, and I'm like, holy smokes, one man crew, what's going on? So I want to hear everything about it. I want to hear your perspective about it and stuff. And I'm going to keep an open mind, and maybe I can even maybe help you find a solution to this issue or something. So okay, so we'll go from there, and then I know you're doing some stuff that's new, and then you can talk about that and plug that too. Is that cool?
yeah, yeah,
All right, awesome. Because I just want to like support you and stuff, and then just like figure out what's going on with your life right now. So, God, man, oh, I could use a drink, but I took medication. Oh, it's a catch 22.
for
Okay,
sure.
I think a drink of beer. Oh my God, that'd be awesome. Uh, oh my God, I was thinking about it. I was like, well, maybe we should podcast in a little bit. I'll just go to the store real quick. But no. It's Thursday. The weekend isn't even here yet. Oh my God. But okay, all right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah,
Okay, so I mean, you've been on the show, I think, 3 times before, so you know the spiel. Okay, here we go. On three. Wait, let me just make sure we're recording. We're recording. Yep, recording in progress. Oh, thank God. Oof. Okay, here we go. On three. A one, a two, a one, two, three, four. What's up, faders? Welcome to yet another action-packed episode of Got Faded Japan, and I am your host, Johnny. And as you fine folks know, Got Faded Japan is about two dudes, booze, Japan, and the news. And faders, this is episode number 776. Yep, that's right, 776. It will never stop. But it's all good. It's all good. We're having a lot of fun. And in this episode, it's a little late for me and early for our guests, so we're not going to be drinking booze. I'm drinking kombucha, and I think you're probably drinking coffee. And faders, who I am talking to is somebody who is not a stranger to you, especially if you've been tuning in to Got Faded Japan for the last 10 years or so. We have a one man army, a one man walking machine, a one man killing assassin, a one man crew. One man crew, welcome back to Got Faded Japan. It has been way too long, and you look good, by the way. You look fantastic.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Happy to be back on.
Oh, my goodness. My friend, the last time I saw you was in Tokyo, downtown Tokyo. We were hanging out. We went to Gamuso. You had a show there. God, we've got so much history in Japan, One Man Crew. I mean, I've booked you, I think, at least several times. I booked you for my birthday party. I booked you for a couple of random parties. I got you some gigs to perform here in Tokyo. I never did see your wrestling. You always wrestled on days where I had to work and stuff. But I always wanted to see you wrestling. I supported you though, and man, you look fantastic, man. I mean, I've been watching your videos and stuff and your photos on like Instagram and stuff. You're beefing up and stuff. You're going to the gym. You're healthy, man. God, it's fantastic to see you, faders. When I talk too much, it's because I'm excited, and I am excited right now because I'm with One Man Crew. One Man Crew, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. Doing real well. I became a 32nd degree Scottish Rite Freemason and a Knights Templar.
What?
And yeah. I just put out a new album in January. It garnered over 100,000 streams in the first week on Spotify. And
Wow, fantastic.
I've been defending the lineal world championship against like so many legends. Man, it's been cool. It's been a really awesome last 3 or 4 years.
That is awesome. I'm so happy to hear that, man. I'm so happy to hear that. I love it when I meet old friends or guests that have been on the show and I talk to them and like life is fantastic. Maybe Got Faded Japan is kind of like a good luck podcast because almost everybody that's been on this show, good things happen to them. So maybe your future is gonna be brighter than the sun because you're on this episode right now.
Hey, you never know, man.
You never
I
know,
mean,
man. Well, I think I know, man. I've got a pretty good record. I've been doing the show for over 10 years, and so far, all is good luck, bro.
I'll tell you what, man, because I mean, coincidence or not, the last few times I was on your show, I've had a pretty amazing last 10 years since then, or 8 years, or however long it's been.
Hmm.
I've had a heck of an adventure, man.
That's awesome. And and One Man Crew, what we're doing right now on Got Faded Japan from time to time is we're interviewing cool people who are doing awesome things here in Japan. And even though right now you're currently in the United States, but before you were in the United States, you were kicking it here in Japan for a long time. And I want you to tell the audience or remind the audience about why you went to Japan, how you got established in Japan, and how you did so many incredible things in Japan. Can you tell your Japan story?
Absolutely, man. So back in 2012, I first got booked in Japan wrestling, and I was only supposed to be there for 6 weeks, and I ended up staying there 6 months. And then, because I got over, which means like I became popular, and all these promoters wanted to book me, so I stayed booked up. And then I hurt my back really bad, like the year previous, but I
Mm-hmm.
kept working through it. But I had a re-aggravation of that injury, and I believe it was in September of 2012 when I was on tour. And then like my biggest dream come true kind of became my worst nightmare because I had to make all these dates Like I was on like tours of Hokkaido. They were like 10 days long and having to wrestle twice a day and with that back injury, man. I ended up coming back over here for like 6 months to kind of like recharge my batteries and heal up. And then I came back in 2013 in that summer and stayed for a while. And then I came back to the U.S. for another 6 months. Then I went down to, I lived in Hawaii for about a year. I wrestled in Hawaii for a little bit, and did some stand up comedy and a couple live performances, and was on an episode of Hawaii Five O, and shot a movie for Ron Yuan, but that never came out for whatever reason. Then I moved to Korea for a little bit and worked on a documentary where I produced the soundtrack for it and was featured in it as as a wrestler. And then I went back to the US, toured Mexico, did a show for NWA Circle City, and then went back to Japan. And I was out there. That's when you and I met. In 2015 till 2018, I was bouncing back and forth from Korea to Japan, doing wrestling shows, did a few TV shows. Why'd You Come to Japan? Show Me the Money 6 in Korea. And I was on a couple other ones too. And then I did a movie called Yoren Uta wa Ichiji no Kaze ni. It's a horror movie.
Yeah.
I played a little small bit part in it. That was back in 2013 though. And then I moved to Guam because I was getting really run down. My back injury was catching up with me finally. I ended up going to Guam and just kind of like quietly retiring for a few years and just focusing on music. Then I ran a hip hop show called Rapping for the Game, and we sold like over 100 tickets. And I did another show at the university, and they drew, I think, about 150, 200 people, something like that. It was called the Elements event. They just paid me to go and do it, and it was pretty cool. And then I did a show at a hotel called Nico, and this guy, his name's Jay Storm. He's a magician. He's got all these cool like things for his stage props, like stuff that shoots up fire and like screens and all kind of stuff. And him and this other guy ran a hip hop show and booked me on it, man. And the footage of that looks really cool because like the fire shooting up and all that stuff. And then I met my girlfriend, and I sent some beats during the pandemic to Violent J from Insane Clown Posse, and I got a deal producing music for ICP. So I produced music for them for about a year. And they only ever used 3 of my beats, but I made like 40 or 50 custom beats for them. And they told me like they'd give me $500 a beat after the first 4. And so they owe me like 20 grand, and they never like gave me proper credit for the ones that they did use. And I ended up like coming to the US because, he told me if I come back over here and work hands on with him and get to know him, that I'd get more opportunities. So by the time I came over here, he acted like I was out of my mind for even coming here, and basically disrespected me and took my beat off of the Yum Yum Bedlam album. And because I told him, I said, dude, I said, if you're making money off my shit, the least you could do is not treat me like a fucking jabroni, bro. And then he was like, it triggered him, and he like went on this rant talking all this shit. So I just ignored it. And this is like through text, right? So I just ignored it, and I typed up like a resignation email, and thanked him for the opportunity and told him like maybe down the road we can work together someday. And then about a year after that, I was quiet about it publicly. I didn't say nothing bad about him or nothing. I went and seen one of their wrestling events they promoted, and I walked up to him to thank him for the opportunity again and in person, and he wouldn't even look me in the eye. And then about a year after the whole thing went down, I looked on the metadata for one of the songs that I produced on it's called Yum Yum's Lure. It's an EP that like debuted #1 on iTunes rap album charts, and I produced the first track on it. And on the metadata it says produced by blank. There's nobody, right? So I kind of had a problem with that. So I kept reaching out to them to see if we can get that changed. And then I got no response. So finally, I said, I know what'll get this guy's attention because he's like a real like a junkie, right? So I typed the email with the header, "I'll give you oxycodone," and then I got his attention, all right, because he emailed me back and he was like, "Suck my dick, you fucking retarded monkey. Please introduce yourself to me so I could beat the fuck out of your bitch ass. You make me sick." So I was like, "All right, motherfucker, if you think you can beat my ass, meet me at the corner of Power Road and 10 Mile in Detroit."
Oh, yeah.
Right around the corner of where one of his properties, right? I don't know if he still owns it or not, but he knows where that location is for sure. So I said,
Wow.
I got to pick Tony Atlas up from the airport and we're going to wrestle in Battle Creek. And then I got to drop him off on Sunday. So I'll meet you at this time, at this date, just
Mhm.
me, nobody else, no weapons, no bullshit. I'll be
Yeah.
there. And if you think you can beat my ass, show up and prove it, motherfucker. Otherwise, you're a bitch. Well, he never showed up, and I filmed it and I put it on YouTube, and it kind of went a little bit viral. It got like 10,000 views in like 2 days or something like that, and it's got more than that now. But man, I got swarmed with haters over that because like they're looking at it from face value. They're like, "Who's this nutcase standing on a street corner wanting to fight Violent J?" And they're not like looking into why. You know what I mean? So that's what started like the Juggalos like hating on me and stuff. So from there, I made an album called The Astronomic Dr. Chronic, which is I made my own Joker card album just to piss off Violent J. And I commissioned all the artists that used to be on ICP's label, Psychopathic Records, all the artists that they developed and invested in that left their label because Violent J is a prick. And I got them all on the album. And I got my friend who, he and I started out rapping together like 20 years ago. He had gotten a divorce and he had like a 15-year hiatus. So me and him reformed our group, Keepers of the Crypt, and then that got a lot of hate. And then I made a new solo album where like I licensed all these features, basically just sampled these features from like big name artists like Snoop Dogg, like all legal, all legit and everything. And it's like a hardcore diss album. It's called Overthrown the Underground, and it's like got like 14 skits, like talking about me burying Violent J alive, and
Whoa.
then like partially like through the album, like I knock on his girlfriend's door and a gun in her face and walk in her house, and then after at the tail end of another song, there's a skit where I'm like making her blow me and she's crying. And then my an alarm goes off, so I call Violent J, and then the next track after that's like the interlude where he's like waking up in the casket, and like I'm calling him on the phone and talking shit to him while he's like buried alive, and like I used AI to clone his voice on my performance of him, so it really sounds.
Whoa.
And then like from there it just gets even crazier and crazier, man, because like
Yeah.
then yeah, so I that kind of flew under the radar of the Juggalo scene. Because if they known the lyrics that I spit in that and the skits, like they'd lose their minds over that shit. But
Yeah.
most recently, my friend and I, as the group Keepers of the Crypt, we made a diss song to Violent J called "Violent J is a Bitch," and he drew
Yeah.
the art, and it's like a parody of like Wizard of the Hood or Wizard of the Ghetto, which is one of
Yeah.
Violent J's, you know, genius concepts, right? Basically a rip off of Wizard of Oz. But we shot a music video for it. And this music video triggered these juggalos, and they all come out of the woodwork to like send me threats of violence and death threats and all this shit. It's been bizarre, man. I've had somebody call my mom and leave like a cryptic voicemail about how I'm making bad decisions on the internet and we need to have a little chat and all this shit. It's been crazy, man.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty crazy. You've been a busy bee. uh, okay, all right. That's a lot to chew on. That's a lot to chew on. All right. So, okay, Very interesting, very, very exciting, kind of dark, but okay, let's go back. Let's go back. Okay, so you're in Japan. Okay, so I didn't know you're in Japan for so long before I met you. I thought I met you when you first came to Japan. I didn't know that you were here for like a minute. Wow, that's wild. And so when you were in Japan, you actually wrestled with like a lot of really famous pro wrestlers here in Japan. I mean, you made a name for yourself. I mean, even people that didn't watch or listen to the podcast that we did together, they were talking about you and stuff, because I mean, you were really prolific on online when you're out here and stuff. You were filming stuff almost every day. I mean, you're selling CDs left, right, and center all over the city. I mean, you were definitely not even just making a mark. I mean, you were like breaking a crack, and yeah, in the culture here and stuff. So I was kind of sad when you left. But can you tell us about some of the pro wrestlers that you worked with, some of the famous guys?
Yeah. Well, one that comes to mind is Tomoaki Honma, who's a very popular wrestler in Japan.
Yep.
And I wrestled him in a tag team match. Him and Yuko Miyamoto, who's another popular like death match wrestler in Big Japan Pro
Yep.
Wrestling. Me and a guy named Umezawa Kikojiro, who's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
I used to work for him. He gave me a job as a security guard in a club in Shibuya,
Wow.
and it was a really really cool tag match. And then I wrestled Tatsuhito Takaiwa, he was in the suit. I wrestled him probably like two or three times, and he was in like the Super Juniors tournaments in New Japan Pro Wrestling back when like Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio and Chris Jericho were doing those back in the early 90s. And I wrestled Hisakatsu Oya several times. He was a hardcore wrestler in FMW, and he he and I wrestled like I wrestled him as his normal gimmick, as his real name. Then he wrestled me under a mask as the Canadian lumber because he didn't want to do a job for me under his like real name, so he like laid down for me with a mask on so nobody would know it was him. So it
The
was
beauty
funny.
of wrestling.
Yeah, and then I tagged with Jun Kasai for like 6 months,
Mhm.
and me and him wrestled the Great Sasuke
Mhm.
and a guy named Keisen Numajiro from Michinoku Pro Wrestling, and that was like a dream come true for me, man. Because I used to have a poster of the Great Sasuke on my bedroom wall when I was a teenager. Because I used to get
Awesome.
tapes from Japan, and so I had a big crush on a female wrestler named Manami Toyota, who's like regarded as like one of the greatest like women wrestlers of all
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
Me and her worked together in a battle royal, an intergender battle royal, and the promoter Nakajo-san, who's a very perverse person. I mean, in a funny way, not like in a creepy way. He's just a really
All
funny
right.
guy.
Mhm.
He makes like a lot of sexual jokes and stuff. Like one time he was talking about like sexual positions and relating them to musical instruments. And so anyway, I told Nakajo-san that I had a crush on Manami Toyota when I was in, high school, and he he told her that.
Uh-oh.
So when we were in the battle royal, I'm supposed to like lay down and like all there's like three or four girls on a battle royal, and they all ganged up on me, right?
Oh no.
Like double suplex me and all kind of stuff. So then to pin me, Manami Toyota actually sat on my face. Like
That will do it.
her junk was right in my face. Like it was dope, man.
Oh
And
my
then
God.
I wrestled well, I didn't actually wrestle him, but he was involved in a couple run-ins.
Uh,
A great Kabuki, who's a really famous legendary wrestler,
mhm.
and like even in the States, he come over here, and in Canada, and he wrestled in the Royal Rumble once in WWF, but primarily he was like really well known during the Territories era in the 70s and 80s. Like he wrestled down for Bill Watts, and I believe it was called I forgot what Bill Watts is, UWF, I think.
Hmm.
And he wrestled Junkyard Dog at the Superdome in New Orleans,
No,
the main event. Yeah.
really?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, and he actually became a friend and mentor of mine. And
Really? Nice.
yeah, man, I used to go to his restaurant like every Thursday, and he'd give me beer, and we talked about all kind of stuff. Man, he told me some funny ass stories about Terry Funk and Andre the Giant, and he knew all.
Ah, Andre.
Yeah, and he wrestled Ric Flair in Japan and All Japan Pro Wrestling in this big
Mm-hmm.
main dome show. Man, it was, I
Oh
believe,
wow.
I think it was in the Tokyo Dome. It was either that or Kawasaki Arena or something. It was some big, huge arena show. And yeah, this guy is a straight up legend, man. And like my last match that I had in Japan in 2018 at Korakuen Hall, he actually came to see it.
Really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
so cool, man. That's so cool.
Oh
Wow,
yeah.
that's fantastic. All right, it's kind of a side question, but I got to ask before it kind of like slips out of my mind. Did you ever go to the steakhouse, that steak restaurant that's off Meguro Dori called Ribera?
Yes. Yeah.
You did. I love that place.
It's great, man. I've been there several times. They gave me like a Ribera jacket. They gave
You got
me
the
Zuba,
jacket.
Zubaz pants. Like
Mhm.
they took care of me, man. They really when I first came there, man, they gave me like two pairs of Zubaz pants, and then the last time I went there, they finally gave me a jacket.
Oh man, that's awesome. Yeah, so for faders, for all you guys that don't know, Ribera is a steakhouse here in Japan, and it's famous for wrestlers. Like if when you walk in, they play old school from the 1940s and 50s, like country western music, and pretty much every single centimeter of the walls is covered with pro wrestling posters and photos of pro wrestlers who came into that steakhouse. The owner loves pro wrestling. So that's kind of like the theme of like the restaurant. And they got a really, really amazing steaks there. The prices are extremely affordable. And oh my gosh, it's really cool because you can't make a reservation. So you got to wait outside. And it's so famous that you'll be standing next to people that are like, just like normal people, like maybe businessmen, salarymen or whatnot. And then like all of a sudden, like a limousine will pull up and like a driver or bodyguard or somebody will get out and open the door. And then a couple of people that are just way too high class to be in this neighborhood will come out. Well, I guess it's Megro, but whatever. They'll come on and stuff and they'll be standing right behind you. And you're like, oh my goodness, everybody in the city is going to this restaurant. And they have been for a very long time. What a great restaurant. I really love that place. I've been there several times.
Oh, it's awesome. The food's good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a rite of passage for pro wrestlers. Like anybody who's anybody in the wrestling business has eaten at Rivera Steakhouse and gotten a jacket from there.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that's cool.
if they haven't, then they're really not anybody.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man. So I think you kind of mentioned why you left Japan, but can you kind of like emphasize a little bit more about why you left Japan? Because when you were here, I mean, you were taking over the city. Why would you leave like paradise?
Well, the thing is, man, is like I was all my injuries were really catching up with me.
The injuries,
And
yeah.
I had a girlfriend in South Korea, so I
Hmm.
was spending more time in Korea, and I ended up moving to Guam because like I was on like tourist visas toward the end there, and like I kept bouncing back and forth. I was just tired of it, man. I needed to go back to the U.S., and I didn't want to end up getting like kicked out for doing that too many times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'll happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
okay.
I went to Guam for a few years, and then I came back to Japan last summer a couple
Yep.
times. But I wasn't there very long. I was there for a week the first time I came back, and I was there for like 2 days the second time I came back. And but yeah, just for vacation. I was supposed to do a show for you and a show for my manager slash sensei, who originally booked me in Japan, but there was like a scheduling error on his part that kind of screwed up everything, and then I
Got it.
had to rebook like the show that he did. And then when we did that, I had you give me a show, but then it was cutting it too close because
Yeah,
I
yeah, it
didn't
was on the other side of the city, right?
yeah, so I was like, man, which one of these do I cancel? Well, if I cancel for my sensei, he'll probably never book me again. But if I tell Johnny, he'll probably understand. So
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. I was sad that I didn't get to hang out with you and kick it, but it was all good, dude. And I had like maybe 10 bands performing that night, so I mean everybody just played one extra song, so it's okay. So yeah, I mean you were missed, but don't worry about it. You'll be back, so it's all good. So and I'll definitely book you again, man. I love your hip hop. So okay, you left Japan. And oh no, one more question about Japan and pro wrestling. How easy or difficult is it for somebody to come to Japan and get booked wrestling? Maybe not pro wrestling, but just like getting in the ring and stuff.
it's really difficult, man. You have to be really good at it to even get booked in Japan. And that's what like I got like a lot of online haters over here in the US that they like try to pretend that like, just because they never heard of me or whatever, that I've never done anything or I'm not anybody of any significant notoriety.
But you
But
did do a lot of stuff.
yeah, man, and like I'm the only foreign pro wrestler that's ever worked for like over 25 different pro wrestling promotions in Japan. Like nobody else has ever done that. Like I'm literally the only one. And to even get booked for one promotion
Mhm.
is a career milestone because like I said, man, it's really difficult to get booked in Japan. Like you have to have a buzz already or
Yeah.
be somebody that they look at you and be like, this guy's money.
Mhm.
And I happen to be one of those guys that somebody looked at me and seen my wrestling and be like, this guy's money. Let's bring him over here. So,
Mhm. That's cool. That's cool. That's awesome. Okay, so it is really difficult. Do you need a manager or do you just need to like kind of like make connections as you're here?
well, with me, like I did things. I kind of took the path less traveled and blazed my own trail, so to speak, because usually,
Well, you
uh,
are a one-man crew, so
how people usually get booked is they solicit themselves to one promotion. That promotion sponsors their work visa, brings them over, and they work exclusively for that one promotion.
yeah.
I had to do things a little bit differently because I wanted to work for more than one promotion. I wanted to work for as many of them as possible. So I had to get a sponsor to fly me out there,
Hmm.
and my manager Fugo Yumeji, he actually booked all my shows. Like he called every promoter, "Hey, I got One Man Crew coming to Japan. Do you have any dates? Would you like to book him?" And like he booked me on I think like six different promotions when I first went there.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
then the first time I wrestled there was at Korakuen Hall for Tenyu
Oh,
Project.
nice.
And
Nice.
in one show I got over. Like because I did a moonsault off the top rope
Hmm.
finish of the match, and then the time limit ran out, and then the fans actually voted because it was it was like a new project Mizuchi series match, which is like a 5 minute time limit. And since there was the time limit expired, the fans' reaction decides who won the match. Well, they decided that I won the match, and,
Yeah.
and I got some press for it. I was in the wrestling magazines. Basically, I got myself over in that first match, and
So
so
cool. Yeah.
and then from there I wrestled for Freedoms and got
Wow.
myself over there, and then
It's big.
uh, went to Onita Pro slash FMWE now, but
Hmm.
it used to be FMW before Onita Pro
Hmm.
or WEW. They changed the name so many times, but then he broke off from WEW and started Onita Pro, which became FMW and then FMWE, but originally started as FMW. So it went through a lot of different incarnations, but that's a big deal to work for Onita. And got myself over in the first match there, and then basically I got myself over everywhere I went, and that was the because my manager said, "Hey, look, I did my part of getting you booked here. Now it's up to you to get over under your own power. Whatever
Yeah.
you do in the ring from here is going to determine whether or not you're going to be successful." So I took that to heart, man, and I just gave it my all. And by the time I came to Japan, man, I was 29 years old. I was already beat to hell and back. I had already been wrestling for 12 years.
Jeez.
And, I did a lot of stupid stuff in the ring trying to make a splash and trying to make a name for myself. Took a lot of unnecessary risks and beat the hell out of myself, man. So I was already like I was already told to retire in 2011 from like some big concussions, and I
Uh-huh.
had been in car wrecks and stuff like that, and I had hurt my back, like I said, in
Yeah.
2011. I did this thing called the AWE Awesome Night of the Legends. It was a pay-per-view event, but I worked a dark. It's called a dark match. It's a non-televised match, but they put it on the DVD, and I sent that footage of that match to Japan. That's how I got booked. And then,
Cool.
but that's very same match is where I hurt my back because
Oh,
Tully Blanchard, he used to be in the Four Horsemen. He was the one calling the shots on that show. And my thing was I did a moonsault off the top rope, which is like a backflip off the top rope. And he was like, "No, don't do that. Some other guy did it earlier in the show." I
yeah.
said, "Yeah, but that guy weighs like 190 pounds. I weigh 320 pounds. There's a big difference. And besides that, he hit the moonsault. I'm gonna miss it." So, but he was like, "No, no, don't do it." So he's like, "What else can you do?" I said, "I don't know, man. I don't really do anything else off the top rope except the moonsault. I mean, I used to do like a splash and a missile drop kick and all that stuff when I weighed 215 pounds, but I gained over 100 pounds, so I'm not doing none of that." He's like, "What about off the middle rope? Can you do something off the middle rope?" I said, "I don't know, man. I don't really do nothing off the middle rope." He's like, "What about a leg drop? Could you do that?" I said, "I guess, man. I'm not really comfortable with it, but I'll do it." And I did it. For those of you who don't know, a leg drop is when like you jump up as high as you can to land on your ass and your leg goes across your opponent's throat, right?
Okay. Yeah. It's like a guillotine chop.
Yeah. So the thing is, the finish is I go for that leg drop off the middle rope. The guy moves. I bust my ass, and he gives me his finishing move and pins me, right? Well, I literally busted my ass. Like I broke my tailbone and herniated two discs in my lower back, my L4, L5, and my S1.
Yo, dude, that's crazy because you'd think that if you're like 300 pounds, your butt would be so big that if you dropped off like the middle or even the top, rope, and you just hit, you would just like, you'd have all that cushion, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's just like you go bang, 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 bang like that. But obviously not, you know?
yeah. Well, that ring was like really stiff for some reason. It was stiff.
Uh-huh.
It had less give than normal than
Yeah, yeah.
most of the strings do. And I wasn't really taking that into consideration. I only had 3 minutes to do the match because they kept cutting my time. They're like, all right, you got 7 minutes, then you got 6 minutes, then 5 minutes, then they cut it down to 3 minutes, then three
Wow.
minutes with entrances.
Who?
So I was like, all right, man, well we can still get our shit in and make this a good match, and in 3 minutes it'd be perfect. It's a perfect TV match. This would be this. I said this the commercial for this. The guy I was wrestling, I said this.
Yeah.
You do this, man. Trust me.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
did it, and it was a perfect commercial for any promoter
Yeah,
because.
yeah, sounds great.
But yeah, then I forgot what the question was, man. The original question.
The original question was about management, but that's okay. We're past
Oh,
that. Okay. All right. All right. Another thing about pro wrestling. All right. You fought Butterbean.
yeah, I've been friends with Butterbean for 16 years now. We wrestled each other off and on. We've been involved with 4 matches together, and then I boxed his son last year, and he
Ah,
broke my ribs.
oh, like father, like son. That's what I say. Oh my gosh. That guy, he's a legit sweetheart. He's like super nice, dude. His heart's from everything that I've heard about the guy, he's got a heart that's like it's a completely golden and it's like 24 karat. Like, I mean, the guy's got a heart of gold. Absolutely, right?
He's a great guy, man. Like he really is. A really nice guy. And really, I'm very, very honored and proud that he considers me a friend and vice versa.
Very cool. Very cool. Wow. All right. So, all right, you left Japan, you went to the States, you had lots of adventures in the States and Korea and Guam and Hawaii and stuff. But I know you want to talk about the Insane Clown Posse and all that stuff. So, okay, so let's like fast forward to that section. Okay. So, all right, you're in the rap game and did you meet Violent J? Was it Violent J or
Yeah,
Sniper Sudo?
I met him originally. Well, there's two of them. There's Violent J and Shaggy Two Dope. I
Yep,
met
yep.
Violent J back in 2011 when I wrestled for their wrestling company at the gathering of the Juggalos. And then during the pandemic, I hit him up on the Cameo app because you can like pay to send him a message. So I sent him a message on there, and I was like, "Hey man, I don't know if you remember me from JCW, but we met on the stage. I was sweeping off the stage, and you shook my hand, and I gave you some weed as like a thank you for booking me and stuff." I said, I make pretty dope beats, man. I got a whole bunch of them sitting on my laptop I've been making during the pandemic. And if you want, you can just have some of them. I'll send them to you. He's like, cool, man. Send me some fire. Here's my email address. So I sent him like 10 or 12 beats that I made during the pandemic. And it was like, we listen to these beats, man, and they're dope, but they're not really our style. Do you think you could make something specifically tailored to our sound? I was like, yeah, sure, man. So I made him the first two custom beats I made for him. They end up using them, and they're like, man, we're gonna give you a deal, man. How about this? The first four beats will be free, and then since you offered us free beats, and then after that, we'll give you $500 a beat. And he's like, keep making this stuff, man. Keep sending this stuff. Make all the beats you send us, make them like this beat. Like the first beat I sent him, like he was really riding nuts on, man. He loved that beat. So I was like, all right. So I, kept making him beats, and for like 6 months, he was like, man, you're getting doper and doper, man. These are all dope, and everything was all good. And then like I said, he used the one beat on Yum Yum's Lure, and it debuted #1 on iTunes rap charts. And they did a Patreon stream, and they featured one of my beats on it. Like there's footage of them like listening to it and stuff, and putting it over and stuff like that. And then about 6 months into me producing for him, I sent him a beat, and he emailed me back, and he was like, I really like this beat. It's just I was waiting for it to land. The verses, I want you to change it. I want it to go boom, boom, boom. And like if you're reading that in like an email or a text, boom, boom, boom can mean like 5 or 6 different things when you're sequencing notes for an 808. It could be the first, the third, and the fifth note. It could be a triplet sliced over the first 4 notes. It could be a
Mhm.
triplet sliced over 8 notes. It
Yeah.
could be the first 3 notes. I mean, it can mean so many different things. You know what I mean? So I tried to fix it the way he wanted it, and he was like, "No, man, I'm telling you, I want it to go boom, boom, boom." I'm like, "Well, can you at least like, send me a voice clip or something, like mouthing it to me or something, man?" Like, and so I kept trying, and he was like, "Never mind, man. Thanks for trying." I was like, "All right, whatever. Well, maybe it just didn't. He didn't want this beats." But I kept sending him more beats, right? And I let him know. I sent him an email like, "Hey, man, I'm coming back to the States right after the gathering of the Juggalos. I know you're busy, like working, on the gathering." What I
Yeah.
didn't is this guy was like in full blown heroin addiction mode.
Wait, for real?
Yeah,
How do you
like
know?
how do I know? He's admitted it on. He went to rehab.
Oh,
He ended up going to rehab when I came back here. He was already in rehab. But anyway, so he missed a performance at the gathering that same year because like he said it was something related to his heart, and I know he did have a heart problem,
mhm.
but he was also on fucking drugs. So uh anyway, so I came back, and then I already told you the story about that where
Yeah.
like
Now,
you know
now, can I interrupt you? And I'm sorry to do so. Did you have any kind of a contract while you were doing this? Like, did you send him a contract? Did he send you a contract? Was anything signed?
no, nobody ever like actually signs a contract with ICP, man. It's all like handshake deal bullshit, man. And
They should. They
yeah,
should. You should
yeah, but
always sign a contract.
I did talk to an entertainment lawyer, and he said that the texts that we sent back and forth were as good as a contract. So,
Okay.
so if I wanted to sue him over it, I could. But I'm not. They got more resources than I do, so they could fight that, and it would end up costing me a bunch of money, and then they could end up winning it. So I just decided to go the diss route. Like, okay, well, I'm not gonna get my 20 grand and my respect and my uh, proper credit or my accolades, like which I actually am. Like, I
Hmm.
do qualify for a plaque, and I'm gonna be getting that. But what I'm gonna do instead is I'm gonna diss this motherfucker. So that's what I've been doing. And one of the ways that I haven't mentioned yet that I've been kind of sticking a dagger in him is Corporal Robinson, who is a wrestler for his wrestling company. He had won their title and then got injured and had to relinquish the title. And then he ended up
Oh.
coming back and they ended up firing him because he was like selling guest lists to people. But anyway, he's like atoned for that, and like he and I had became friends, and I told him about the situation with ICP, and I was like, hey man, wouldn't it be dope if like since you never lost the JCW title, like we wrestled for it, like the original version of it, and you put me over and drop the belt to me, and then I like book all Violent J's guys and just beat them all. And he's like, yeah, I'll do that for you. So when we did that, we called it the Lineal World Championship. We got like a replica of the JCW title, and then we had a hardcore match, which was a badass hardcore match, by the way. I ended up messing myself up, like going through a table.
Whoa.
And so, he put me over, he endorsed me. I had that belt, and then I defended it against Congo Kong, Madman Pondo, Rhino, Eugene, Buff Bagwell, Dan the Beast Severn, Shane Douglas, Tony Atlas, Too Cold Scorpio, Al Snow, Tommy Rich, like all these legend wrestlers, man.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, it started out just like I want to do this to piss off Island J, but then it became, hey, actually, can be a really cool. I'm gonna shoot a documentary. I've been shooting a documentary with this Lineal World Title run, and it morphed into something that actually legitimate because what I didn't really realize at the time was like when Corporal Robinson was the JCW champion, he had beat Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, at JCW's Bloody Mania 1 event. And at that time, Scott Hall was the WWC Universal Champion. He actually came out with the belt around his waist. And for those of you who don't know, the WWC Universal Championship is Puerto Rico's version of the World Heavyweight Championship. And it tracked back to when Ric Flair went down to Puerto Rico and wrestled Carlos Colon in a couple title matches, and Carlos Colon beat Ric Flair to unify the WWC and NWA world titles.
Wow.
But the thing is, NWA never recognized it. But if this were boxing,
Billy.
but if it Billy. Were boxing, if it were boxing, though, it'd be that he would be the lineal world champion. To beat the man, you got to beat the man who's beat the man who's beat the man, and so on and so forth to be the lineal world champion in boxing. So we created this concept of a lineal world champion, a wrestling lineal world champion. So I'm right now currently the lineal world champion of professional wrestling.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you, man. And to further legitimize it, I've been wrestling other world champions who had never lost titles. Like they maybe were stripped of it or whatever. And like Dan Severn, like I wrestled him a couple years ago, having a rematch in a steel cage in July 12th.
Yeah, cool.
He's like the UFC Hall of Famer, 3-category UFC champion, 2-time NWA World Heavyweight champion. Never lost those titles. Nice. The second one, never lost the NWA World title. The second time they stripped him of it when TNA Wrestling was formed, and then they put it on Ken Shamrock. Ironically. So like I wrestled him and he put me over, which kind of further legitimized the lineal world title. And then I wrestled Rhino, who was like the last real ECW world heavyweight champion before the company folded. And lost that title. He was also the ECW world television champion. He was like a double champion, never lost any of those titles. So then I wrestled him in a hardcore match and he put me over, which like further legitimized the whole thing. And then I wrestled Shane Douglas, who had there's 2 world titles he never lost.
Okay.
And then there's one more. Can't think of it, but anyways.
Yeah, it's all good. We get it. You're basically kicking butt and taking names. Now I'm going to go back to the Insane Clown Posse because I guess this is kind of like big news right now. So you made a music video where you completely, I mean, you went Eazy-E on these guys.
Yeah.
Remember back in the day when Easy and Dre and Ice Cube and like NWA kind of fell apart and they all started like making all these diss videos and stuff that were just absolutely insane on Yo MTV Raps back in the day. Remember
Yeah.
that? I mean, that was like hardcore. I was like a little kid watching that, being like, "Oh man, Easy's pissed." You know?
Dude, it's funny that you mentioned Easy E, man, because I actually got the inspiration for the music video from Easy E's
Yeah.
real like real motherfucking G's music video.
Oh, for real, yeah. But yeah, so I mean, and you made this music video and stuff. And do you think that I mean, and okay, before I even say that, okay, so you made this music video, and then from there, oh, you got a kitty. Oh, that's cute. I love cats, dude.
I
That's
got
awesome.
four of them,
You got
four
four.
kids,
Oh my God, full house in the house. Yo,
and their mom. Five.
and their mom.
Total.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so okay, awesome. Love cats. But you got a lot of hate from like the Juggalos because the Juggalos is like, I mean, they're kind of like an army, you know? I mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot. They have a festival where they all get together and we all know what goes on in the festivals and stuff, like crazy hijinks and madness and stuff, I mean, it looks like a lot of fun, to be honest. I mean, I really want to go. But the thing is just like, I mean, you kind of like, you kind of put your balls in like the wasp nest to a degree, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I sure did, man. And I have no regrets about it because fortunately, I'm not living in Japan anymore. Over here in the US, we have guns. So if anybody wants to try something stupid, I'm well prepared.
Well, let's just hope it never gets to that. Yeah, I mean, seriously, that's bad news. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, so they called your mom. I mean, have they been like coming to your house or anything? Or I mean,
I've
like,
had threats. I've had so many. I've had threats of like, "Where are you?" Like, we're me and my crew's coming to beat your ass, or like, people telling me they're gonna smoke me and all that kind of shit, man. Like, there's
oh
been,
wow,
yeah. Somebody called my mom, leaving a cryptic voicemail. The same person tried to call me 5 times, and I didn't know who it was. It just said spam. When they try to warn you that it might be spam, like when you're
mm.
on caller ID, so I just didn't answer it. And then that same person called my mom 6 times and left a weird voicemail, man.
Oh my
So,
goodness, wow, that's not good.
but
Yeah. Hmm.
the interesting thing is, though, man, is some of my biggest haters have become some of my biggest allies and supporters.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, because like when they once they looked into like what really happened,
Hmm.
they started to understand where I was coming from with it, and then they looked into ICP and like certain allegations against Violent J, and
Hmm.
it's kind of coming to light what a piece of shit that guy is. And like if you look on his Instagram, he is getting swarmed with people like saying they're not gonna be a Juggalo no more, and like I'm actually winning this thing a little bit.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Yeah, wow. That is insane. Like, I mean, do you think, I mean, for okay, like all right, I'm gonna be honest. Like when I started seeing this stuff online a little bit, and I was like, what the heck is going on? I thought this was a wrestling thing. I thought this is all like kind of like set up or whatever, where you're like, you're a heel or he's a heel or something. You guys are gonna get in the ring and like battle it out or something. I thought this is like kind of like, fictitious,
No,
I had
dude,
no I no. Mm.
I did cut a scripted promo that I wrote the night before because I wanted to make it as interesting as possible. And I just
Yeah.
basically like cut a promo on the Juggalos and ICP, and you probably saw that. It's like 8 minutes long, and I just wanted to add fuel to the fire, man. Couldn't be like cut a classic heel promo. I've been working these Juggalos like they've been eating out of the palm of my hand, man, and
Wow.
it's worked, man, because like I've gotten like that week that video dropped, man, I had over 200,000 views on Facebook alone.
Wow. It's a lot. So,
So
oh, please.
I was gonna say, man, like these people like tell me how I'm such a nobody and how I'm such a jabroni, man. But like, if I'm nobody, then why are you so emotionally compromised over what I'm doing? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. No,
it's
can
been. Go ahead.
no. Please. I'm interrupting you, man. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
pulling
it's
a
not.
Burt Kreischer, man. I'm sorry.
That's all good, man. So like I was saying, like so, I've talked about how whack juggalos are, and some of the juggalos have like really realized, because like the juggalos turned on them for stuff that they've done and said, right,
Yeah.
that not even against ICP, and then they come to me like, man, how about we team up? So like I've actually gotten people like apologizing to me because they didn't really know anything about me, and they just like made presumptions, and then they like really looked into who I am and what I've done and like the whole situation, and they're like, man, your music's dope. And I've had some juggalos tell me, man, I really hate to say this, but your shit's doper than ICP's.
Hmm. Well, if they're
So,
using your beats, I mean, that means something. Um, so can you capitalize on this at all? I mean, with your music video, I mean, could this like lead to something bigger? I mean, obviously the pro wrestling is completely taken off like wildfire. Another little kitty, that's great. But I mean, can you capitalize like kind of like push your music career because of the situation?
well, that's kind of what I'm doing, man. So, like, what I've been doing is working these marks, is what I call it, and working the gimmick, and it's been bringing traffic my way, and I'm a monetized content creator on Facebook. So every interaction, every view I get paid for that, and my music videos monetized, so I get there's ads, and I have content ID, so anybody that like plays my video, or if I repost it on my other social media accounts, ad revenue gets added to that. So
Oh wow.
it's all monetized, man. And uh, the whole thing is like I'm bringing eyes and ears to my stuff, and so I've always worked under the idea that any kind of publicity is good publicity. I mean, I'd rather be known and for something I'm hated for than to not be spoken about at all.
Well,
Because
to a degree, I mean, you don't want to be Hitler.
no, well,
You don't want to go that far.
I probably am Hitler to these juggalos, but I mean, the thing is though, is like I said, every view, every interaction, every engagement, I'm getting paid off of it.
Yeah.
So it's working. It's been
Wow.
working for me.
Wow, well, good for you, man. That's pretty fantastic in a weird way. Oh my gosh. So, do you think eventually that Violent J or yeah, Violent J is going to watch the video or he's going to like kind of like be like, "Oh man, you know what? One Man Crew, I'm really sorry how things turned out or something." Do you think that eventually that's going to happen or you guys are kind of like past the line?
Well, I know that he does, you know, pay attention to what I've been doing,
Hmm.
because people send it to him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not. That ain't the end game for me. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, if I never work with him again or never squash this beef ever again, I don't care about that.
Mhm.
I really don't want to work with him now because he's a fucking scumbag. So, I mean, there's like crazy allegations going on against him,
Ugh.
and you know, on top of him just being a piece of shit, like all his artists left his label and started their own label. That's how bad this dude is. And
Well, I
when
mean,
I
with no contract, I mean, you can do anything you want, if you're like kind of like the
yeah,
executive of this company or whatever. The thing is, it's just like you gotta have contracts from the get-go in any business. I mean, even if you're like mowing lawns for somebody, you gotta have a contract. So yeah, I mean, well, that's a lesson to learn. So anything that you do in the future regarding wrestling or music or something like that, you got to have some contracts written. Even though you said the emails are kind of like contracts, but there's nothing more stronger than a contract. Because once you get that piece of paper, you're kind of bulletproof to a degree. So yeah, keep that in
I
mind
have
for
a
future. Hmm.
I have a contract with a movie. Like, I produced a soundtrack for this movie recently that came out earlier this year, and like they flew me down to New Orleans. I filmed a cameo for it, and you know, it's a Juggalo related movie. So because I produced music for ICP, the director Nathan Tabe, he wanted to use my beats in the soundtrack. I have a rough cut of that movie with you know, with everything in it, but because I just Violent J, he took all my he tried to cut me out of the movie as much as he could. He couldn't cut it all out because like one of the bad guys is wearing one of my T-shirts, so he couldn't cut. He'd have to reshoot like half the movie
Oh no.
if he cut everything out, right?
Uh-huh.
But the thing is, I signed a contract for that, and the contract says that the agreement can't be terminated for any reason.
Hmm.
So I could probably sue him over that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
even
absolutely.
the reason I'm saying that is even if you do have a contract, you can still get screwed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you're better off having a contract than not having a contract. So, and of course you need to have a lawyer and all that other stuff, and it gets expensive and complicated. But it's better to have one and then to not have one. So, okay, wow, that's pretty wild. So, what if Violent J apologized? If he called you up, he's like, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry that I did this to you. I'm just a juggler. I was confused." Would you accept his apology?
I'd tell him, suck my dick, you fucking retarded monkey. Please introduce yourself to me so I can beat the fuck out of your bitch ass. You make me sick. That's what I tell him. Just what it
Oh man. Oh geez. You crossed the line, I guess. Oh wow. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding, man. No, the truth is, man, I'm just
Hmm.
working heel here a little bit. But truth is, man, like if he really did genuinely like, you know, feel bad for the way he treated me or whatever,
Hmm.
like maybe he thinks he didn't do nothing wrong. I don't know, but and from my point of view, the guy is piece of shit because
Yeah.
I worked my ass off for a whole year making beats for this guy and got nothing for it. And then on top of that, I got disrespected. And
Yeah.
that's where I got the problem. And I've been saying this. It's not. It was never about the money. I just want to be on the team, man. And the thing is, like, when you disrespect me the way he did, at the level he did it at,
Hmm.
that's that means war to me, bro. So that's why I've been going hard for these past 2 years. But
Oh my gosh.
but
Wow.
but if he like genuinely like reached out to me and like wanted to squash shit, and I'm a professional, man, and
Hmm.
I don't
Right.
have to like somebody to work with them,
Hmm.
and I don't have to like somebody to get along with them, because at the end of the day, man, like you got to be professional,
Got to be professional.
and you know. Some people might look at what I'm doing professionally as unprofessional, but I think it's very professional because
It's
I'm
old school. Easy
I'm
E, NWA, man. Or I mean, you can even break that down to like, or take that all the way back to what was we call it, the East Coast, West Coast hip hop scene. Remember back in the '90s and stuff where people are getting shot? I mean, you got Biggie, Notorious B.I.G., and you got Tupac and stuff. I mean, those guys, they went pretty hard in their dissing. I mean, they went like really hard, where they're
oh
talking
yeah.
about like having sex with each other's wives on their albums. It's just like, whoa, my God, you're a little kid listening to that. You're like, I don't ever want to make Tupac mad. No way, you know.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, like if anybody if you listen to my new album, Overthrowing the Underground, it's a ride, man.
It's a ride. Yeah,
It's a
dude. Wow.
conceptual album. It's got like 14 skits in it telling a story. It's got features from like some of the most legendary artists ever. And the beats are dope. It showcases different styles of rap. And I diss this guy, man. I go nuclear on this guy.
Jeez,
Uh,
man. That's wild. Oh my gosh. Okay, so all
like
right.
the stuff in that new music video is child's play
Oh,
compared to what I
jeez.
did in that new album.
Wow. Okay. All right. So, all right, you're doing this now. I mean, your finger is not on the red button. The red button's been pushed a million times, right? You've dropped nuclear bombs all over this guy and his career. And what's next? What's next? What's after this? Do you have any plans? Like, I mean, do you have like another album in the mix that's coming up or?
Yeah, I'm working on my friend Drunk Zambini's solo album,
Mhm.
producing that for him, and I'm gonna be
Get a
featured.
contract.
No,
Get a contract.
I'm doing it for him because he invested a lot into our last album that we did together, the
Mhm.
Astronomic Dr. Chronic. He's the one that put up the money for all the features on that album. Because we
Wow.
got Twisted, Blaze Your Dead Homie,
Oh,
Anybody,
Twisted. Really?
uh, Mars from Dark Lotus, the ROC, Boondocks, Light, Straight Jacket, The Joker, G Moski. Like all these guys are like enemies of Violent J. And he put the money up to get all those guys. So to kind of return the favor, I'm producing his new solo album, and
Okay.
we've got some features on that one too.
That's cool. Wow, man. All right, cool.
And then
Dude.
after that,
Hmm.
we're supposed to be doing another Keepers of the Crypt album called It's called the Wishmaster. It's the second smoker card in our Joker card parody series, and then I'm gonna work on another solo album where it's just me rapping by myself, no features, like no beef stuff, just me.
Like
Like
maybe a romantic album or something. You can rap about your cats. Like I'm one man crew. I'm surrounded by pussy, pussycats.
well, it's just gonna be a straight up hip hop album, man. Like I'm gonna reimagine some old classics to where
Uh,
like where I mash up like concepts from different beats and maybe like remake something that from back in the day, but make it my own. Like put my
uh-huh.
own little concept on it. Like for example, there's a song from 1983 by it's called the band's called Sexual Harassment. They made a song called "I Need a Freak," and that song has been remade so many times. Too Short remade it.
You're
ICP.
short.
Uh, so many people. Even today, there's like a like mainstream pop rapper that kind of remade it, like took elements from that song. But
Mm,
I'm gonna remake Too Short's version of it. I'm gonna call it "I Need a Fiend."
nice.
It's about dope fiend bitches, right?
Oh
Like,
God.
like for example, like
Rolling down Woodward.
some of the lyrics are like, "I need a fiend, a whore pervert who licks my nuts like she's eating orange sherbet.
Oh Jesus.
I need a fiend who needs some powder so she can slurp my spooey up like clam chowder."
Well, apparently this is no longer a family episode.
Oh, sorry, dude.
No, it's all good. I'm joking. I'm joking. Yeah, it's really late at night here, so it's all good. But oh man, wow, dude. So I mean, one man crew, you never stop, man. You're like a shark, man, because a shark just keeps on moving forward, dude. And that's exactly what you're doing. And I'm really sad, and I'm really sorry that you had this bump in the road with the whole Insane Clown posse. I mean, the whole posse, all the juggalos and stuff. That's unfortunate. But I mean, you're taking a bad situation, and as you do, you're making it positive, which I think is really cool, man. So basically, you're moving forward, and you've got a lot of great gold coming down the road and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to all the wonderful things that you're doing. So you're wrestling and you're making beats and you're making music and you're helping out all your homies with their music and stuff like that. That is great, man. That's really good, dude. That's super cool.
If nothing else, man, like the silver lining in this whole ICP beef is that I made a lot of my dreams come true,
Hmm.
and I'm I've made a lot of great content. Like the last two albums I did were like two of the dopest albums I've ever done. Like I would even say that my new solo album like competes with like the mainstream shit as far as the quality of the music
Hmm.
and the originality and some of the skits and concepts and
Yeah.
the fact that I've got like legally licensed features from all these big name artists on it, man.
With contracts.
I've got contracts on all of them, man.
Good.
So
Nah. Happy to hear it, man. I'm a contract guy. Everything I do is sign that dotted line at the bottom. That's me. Oh
hey, I
man.
never signed a contract to perform at one of your shows.
Yeah, but you shook my hand. Good enough.
See, that's what I'm saying, man. I've always been a handshake guy
Yeah.
because most of the people I worked for or worked with have
Yeah.
been, man of their word like I am.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
the higher up you go, you find out there are scumbags the higher up you go, man, because they
In all businesses, man. In all businesses, it's all like that. So yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. But not just the higher up you go, in any direction, man. If you go low, there's scumbags and con men everywhere, dude. I've had my issues and my problems with this stuff too. Trust me, and we're gonna save that for another episode. But yeah, man. At this point, I get a contract with everybody that I work with and stuff. Everybody professionally. So, and you kind of have to. You kind of have to. And yeah, so gosh, man, I'm really happy for you that you're really doing great and stuff. I was a little bit worried when I saw some of that shade that was going towards your way, and I was just like, oh man, dude, is this real? What's
yeah,
going
it's
on?
real.
Is this a wrestling thing? Who's the heel? So,
I'm the
but
heel.
You're the oh gosh. But yeah, now that we know your side of the situation, we know what's going on and stuff, I mean, wow, that's pretty insane, But be careful out there, man, because I mean apparently you've got those juggalos after you and stuff. And yeah, dude, you don't want anybody after you, man.
I
That's not
stay
fun.
strapped. I stay
Yeah.
strapped, man.
Okay,
Like,
well, hopefully it never comes to that and stuff, but yeah, jeez, man. Well, gosh, you know what? I think it'd be really great if you could send me an MP3 of like one of your tracks that we could put at the end of this podcast, so
sure.
everybody that's listening to this podcast they can like hear what you're doing and stuff. And also, faders, go down into the show notes. One Man Kru is going to have links to all his beats, to his wrestling dates, to anything and everything. If you could send that to me tonight and stuff, I can have this podcast up by next week and stuff. So pretty much people can start like following you and like checking out like what you're doing and stuff. Supporting you, and maybe giving you some like leads for like other countries. I mean, well, Got Faded Japan is completely global. I mean, we are big in Estonia, believe it or not. So I mean, that's kind of cool. Well, I
That's
think
dope, man. I remember you
Estonia.
had like back when I was first on your show, I knew you had like around 5,000 people listening to you.
Oh gosh, yeah. It fluctuates. It really fluctuates. It goes up, it goes down. I don't know. Right now, there's like it's really weird right now in the podcast and like YouTube game because it's just like I've been doing it for so long and I just do this for fun. I mean, I never thought of making it into a job and making any serious money or anything like that. So I just do this just for fun, just, to hang out with my homies, read the news, drink some beers, crack some jokes or whatever. So for me, it's like a good time. But for other people and stuff, it's like a job and they're taking it to the next level. But I mean, I've already got so many jobs, so it's kind of hard to focus on everything like 110%. But yeah, man. But yeah, it really fluctuates. And yeah, there's a lot of people doing that now. Doing the whole like, hi YouTube, I'm in Japan, and this is the best sushi in the whole world, and it's just like, okay, whatever. They say that about every restaurant here, but yeah, so it's interesting. But I'm still having fun doing it. I'm hanging out with you. I mean, this gives me a great opportunity to hang out with you and stuff. And who knows, man? Maybe I'll take Got Faded Japan to the next level, I mean, maybe we'll be. I don't know, maybe the podcast or maybe start a network or something like that. But it's just like, gosh, man. I mean, all the other stuff I do. The art business is like really strong. The curating business that I'm doing is absolutely fantastic. I mean, the because of all the tourism here in Japan right now, my events are just off the hook. Dude, get this, man. Oh gosh, when you come on here, I'm gonna book you for one of my events, dude. The last event I had, it was at Shibuya NOB, right?
Hmm.
Right down Shibuya. And we had so many tourists coming in to this place where it was completely packed, where like I couldn't take anybody's money anymore. There's like no space for me to take any money. So I took the register out of the fucking club and I went on the street and I started taking people's money on the street. And I'm like, yeah, just go down the stairs, open the door and go left. So the first group of people go in, they go in, they go left. And then the next group of people, like they come in. I'm like, all right, just go down and go right. I'm just trying to get them in there and stuff. But I mean, I got a video of that and it is just uncanny how many people we had at that club. And it's just like, I mean, it's just crazy here right now, dude. Tokyo is like almost unrecognizable. Everybody's calling it New York because it's just like there's more international people than Japanese people in some areas, You go to Shibuya, like right now, it's like what? It's late. If you go to Shibuya right now, it's just you're gonna be hearing like 80% English, maybe 20% like some like Germanic language or something, a little Spanish here and there, and then a little Japanese from people working at restaurants or izakayas or something. It's a different city right now, man. But yeah, which is good and bad for many different reasons and stuff. But when it comes to like performing here, I mean, dude, faders, if you're in a band, come to Japan, dude, get booked, play. I mean, it's almost guaranteed a full house at this point, and it's not even summer yet. It feels like summer. I'm sweating. I'm so sweaty. I need water. Oh my gosh. But yeah, it's crazy. So the next month in August, June, July, August, in August, this city is going to be off the hizzock, dude. And this year, at the beginning of the year and stuff, like on the news, they said, oh, we're expecting 40 million people in 2025 to come visit Japan. Dude, they scratched that number. Now they're saying 70 million people. We're expecting about 70 million people to come into Japan. I'm thinking 70 million people coming into Japan. Everybody comes in like through Narita and Haneda and stuff. Yo, dude, Tokyo's a city where there's only like 14 or 13.5 million people proper, right? 70 million people on top of that, dude. It is crazy. Dude, I
Okay.
live in a quiet residential area and I'm surrounded by Airbnbs that are popping up and stuff. Like if I went outside right now, this very second, and I walked like maybe 10 minutes over there to the left or 10 minutes to the right, I'm going to bump into like, like tourists from Australia with these big, huge suitcases. And I'm like, excuse me, Mike, where's Airbnb? And I'm like, they're all over the place. Just pick one.
When
Yeah,
I,
it's wild.
I came there last summer, man, I went to Shibuya and I looked around. I'm like, Jesus, this place looks way different. They've got
Uh,
new buildings up all over the place, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They've been building up. They've been building up. They started the whole like kind of maximum overdrive of building up Shibuya because of the Olympics, and
Mhm.
they started like maybe a year and a half before the Olympics, where basically they cleaned up Shibuya and then just started building up, and they
Yeah.
just didn't stop. They didn't. They
Dude,
haven't stopped. Yeah, there's more buildings being like. I mean, there's more places being torn down and buildings being built up all over the place. Even in this neighborhood, they're building stuff all over the place, mostly apartment buildings. But yeah, man, it is wild.
dude, Shibuya, as you know, was my old stomping ground, man. I
Yep.
took my girlfriend there to show her around, and I got lost because I didn't recognize where the hell I was, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Especially if you go to the south side of Shibuya, like south of like Shibuya Station. Yeah, that whole place is like all completely like redone and stuff. Which is cool. It's good for the city. I mean, Shibuya is like kind of like San Francisco. When I was living there, San Francisco, it's like a decade city, right? Every
Mhm.
decade it changes a lot. So if you're there like in like 2000 and then you leave and you come back 2010, you're like, whoa, where is this place? Where am I? It's wild. So yeah, if I ever move back to the States, I can't move there. That place is probably unrecognizable at this point. I'd have to move to like a area in like maybe Michigan or someplace where time moves very slow. They're
Yeah.
still using like America Online or something.
Yeah, I live in a rural small town in Ohio, man. Like I wanted to get the hell away from the big city shit, man. I had had
Yeah,
so much of it. Like for 10 years I lived in nothing but big cities and or tourist attractions, and I was just ready to get the hell away from it. And it's been nice, man. Like really peaceful,
really
really quiet. Oh yeah, man. Like but I do miss it. And I do plan to come back to Tokyo, and all the faders out there, I just
nice.
thank you for tuning in, and I appreciate you listening to this podcast. And if you check out my music, check out that new album Overthrown the Underground. You're gonna love it. I promise.
Do it. Do it in the show notes. Click, 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 click. Yeah. Oh man, dude, I know you got some stuff you got to do later today and stuff. I mean, for you, it's like what, 9 o'clock in the morning or something?
Yeah.
10? Or it's in the morning and stuff. You got a whole day ahead of you. I got to hit the hay myself. But man, dude, one man crew, it is an honor to podcast with you again. It's great to see you, and I'm glad that you're healthy, you're happy, and you got a bright future, man. That's super cool, man. And Faders, definitely check out everything that he has. Go in the show notes. You're gonna be happy and stuff. Check on his video. Don't watch it with your kids.
No, don't watch it. Kids.
But yeah, yeah, check it out. Support him. Buy his stuff. Buy his shirts. And if he's pro wrestling in like in a city near yours, definitely check him out, dude. He's extremely entertaining. When he's the good guy, when he's the heel, both times he's always great, dude. So definitely check him out. Anthony, 1 Million Crew, thank you so much for being on the show, dude.
Hey man, that's all good. My real name's Anthony Sanders, just for everybody's
Oh.
information. But it's been an honor and a pleasure here too, brother. I appreciate you, Johnny. You're the man.
Word, dude. Thank you so much. Faders, thank you so much for tuning into this very special episode of Got Faded Japan. Thank you for making it to the very end. I want to thank everybody that's supporting the show on Patreon. The unedited raw video and audio of this podcast will be up on Patreon. The edited one will definitely be on YouTube. If you're listening to this, check out YouTube. It's a great place. Like and subscribe, as everybody says. And you guys just take care of yourselves and have a good time. Thank you so much and fade on. Peace.
Peace.
Pretty fun, huh?
Yeah, it was a blast, man.
Oh my God. Yeah, dude. Like that was crazy when you started talking about like, like when you first came to Japan and all of a sudden you're like, and I was in Korea and Hawaii and Guam. And then this happened to me with the ICP and I was like, oh no, don't talk about that just yet. But I didn't want to stop you because you're on a roll, and I didn't want you to like, not drop gold, which you did. So I just let the record roll. So, but that
Yeah.
was that was pretty dope, man. So I'm gonna let you go, man. It's so good seeing you, man. I hope you take care, all right?
You too, Johnny. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, homie. Call me the next time you come back to the city. I'll be here.
I sure will, man.
All right. Later, bro.
All right.